person who can really label what you do a failure. Success is not a destination, not a place where you arrive one day. Instead, it is the journey you take.
Hey kid, you gonna do it?
Yes, I am. I have to.
And whether or not you succeed comes from what you do day to day. Failure works the same way. It's not some place you arrive. It's how you deal with life along the way. Truly, no one can conclude that he's failed until he breathes his last breath. Until then, he's still in process. And the jury is still out.
I absolutely detest the bullies in town who prey and pick on the weak. But what really bothers me is people like you who just let it happen and don't fight back.
I really wish I were stronger.
People think failure is the enemy. It's not. Most people try to avoid failure like a plague. But it takes adversity to create success. People think failure is final. It's not. Even what may appear to be a huge failure doesn't need to keep you from achieving. The terrible truth is that all roads to achievement lead through the land of failure. Are we going to sleep life away avoiding failure at all costs? Or are we going to wake up and realize that failure is simply a price we pay to achieve success?
All right, I won't lose.
I'll win no matter what.
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen. Everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of phantasm, which will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love. There are nexuses, causal relationships that cannot be separated.
It's time to bit the bullet and start caring about something with all your heart and energy. But you can't care about it if you're always holding yourself back in case it doesn't work out.
At last I enter a fight for which I don't know the outcome. The tension is mounting in my neck.
Get a new definition of failure. See it as the price you pay for progress. If you can change the way you see failure, you gain the strength to keep running the race. Failure is simply a price we pay to achieve success.
Is that all you got for me?
Damn, I can't stop thinking about it. I gotta relax. I gotta calm down. I'm going to win. I will win.
When you're angry, you punch full blast! Full blast!
Right! The only rule is kill or be killed.
What you have to tell yourself is, I'm not a failure. I failed at doing something. Every successful person is someone who failed, yet never looked at himself as a failure.
I won't just throw people away.
Can't let go.
I never would have gotten this far without those guys' help. And whenever I was getting my head rearranged, it was always because I cared about them that I could win.
And that's precisely the reason you've been limited up till now. You're too soft. You don't need anyone but yourself. Don't you understand that?
Get on your feet. I'm firing one last shot with all I've got, and it's gonna end this fight one way or another. So no more stupid surprises or fakes. You show me everything you've got right now. If I win this time, I don't ever want to see you back up.
Achievers are given multiple reasons to believe they were failures. But in spite of that, they persevere.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything worthwhile is uphill. Your dreams are there, your hopes are there. Most people, they don't lead their life, they accept their life. Here's the issue. Most people, they have uphill hopes, but they have downhill habits. And you can't go uphill with downhill habits.
It's pretty easy to get the mindset that there's nothing you can do about it, that you're overwhelmed, that you can't change the world. Well, you know what you can change? You can change you. You can change your world. And if you change your world and you make yourself better and you make your part of the world better, the rest of the world will follow.
Good intentions are overrated. I know so many people, well, I'm going to do that. Yes, I think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. So good intentions are the most overrated phrase in the world. Nothing happens until you've got good actions. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my gosh, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things, they ain't happen. You gotta get real doggish. You gotta get downright funky if you wanna make it.
Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. Weakness haunts us all. There are times we could have done more. They eat at your self-esteem. They rob you of your self-respect. They diminish your belief in your potential. The true art of a full life is to minimize those moments when your weak thoughts win the battle and maximize your ability to rise and grind. Most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, rise and grind. If you wanted to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. And sometimes if you're going to be successful, it's not how smart you are. It's not how strong you are. It's how much you can outlast stuff.
Success is not a uncomfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself. Get out here and get about it.
Don't cry to give up. Cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it.
Some of y'all, you not getting close to the vision. You done said the vision and your mama said something about it, so you done backed off. You done said something about the vision and somebody tried to kill you and you done backed off. Are you hearing what I'm trying to tell you? I'm telling you that you gotta be possessed with the vision.
You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. I just kept on doing what I was supposed to do.
So you've got to work on it. When other folk are having a good time, you've got to have the strength of character to concentrate, to read, to digest information.
To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. You have to give it everything you got. No more TV, no more parties, no more playing. What you need to do is study.
While they was golfing, I was studying. While they was shooting hoops, I was studying. While they was playing games and sitting up and eating and joking in the restaurant, I was studying. You have to put your everything, your mind, your energy, your effort, your discipline. Nothing is going to jump out the fire. If you don't throw something in there, it's not going to happen.
I got to commit my very being to this thing. I got to breathe it, I got to eat it, I got to sleep it.
You got to begin with the end in mind. So whatever your dream or your goal is, you got to wake up every day to it. You got to go to bed with it. You got to read stuff. The music you listen to, everything you do, got to pour into that dream.
You gotta stay focused on your dream. Don't allow anyone to pull you off the game plan.
When they're having fun, you grind. When they're chilling, you work your ass off. When they're getting lit, you put in more work. And when they're wishing for a better lifestyle, you'll be living it.
Everything is up here. Everything. There is nothing in your life that's worthwhile. It's quick and easy. It's all up here. You have to fight for it every day. You have to climb for it every day. Everything worthwhile is uphill. Now the problem is, we have downhill habits. Now if you have downhill habits and you have uphill habits, you're in trouble. And the only way that you go uphill is by self-discipline. And the challenge that we all have is, we don't mind climbing uphill for 3 or 4 days, as long as we can coast for a couple. 4 days of climbing is wiped out with 1 day of coasting. And you're back to the same place that you were. It's faster downhill than it is uphill. It's easier downhill than it is uphill. It's quicker downhill than it is uphill. Nobody will carry you uphill. Nobody can push you uphill. If you go uphill, you got to do it yourself.
Yield and overcome. Bend and be straight. Empty out and be full. Wear out and be renewed. Practice action without striving, and all will be in order. It is because you do not strive that no one under heaven can strive with you.
Courage is the willingness to let go of the familiar. What you have known and what you have done hinders you from being what you could become. Life expands or shrinks in proportion to your courage.
You mean you need a reason to fight? As long as one of us is still breathing, this fight's not over.
When we are dancing, we are not aiming to arrive at a particular place on the floor, as we would be if we were taking a journey. When we dance, the journey itself is the point.
It is not the difficulties that defeat us. It's the lack of confidence in ourselves that defeats us. If you worry about what people think of you, it's because you have more confidence in their opinion than you have in your own. That will suck confidence out of your body. I don't think I can rises from a deeper, I don't think I am. I don't think I can rises from a deeper, I don't think I am. You see, confidence comes from not always being right, but not fearing to be wrong. Confidence releases the risk. Confidence releases the risk. Courage is not waiting for your fear to go away. We know this. We know this at the gut level. Many times fear still holds us back. The most courageous acts take place despite fear. Those who follow will become strong. Courage is the door that can only be opened from the inside. Someone on the outside can't do this for you. Courage is the most important of all virtues, because without it, you can't practice any other virtue with consistency. I will attempt things so big that if they're accomplished, only God will get the credit. I will intentionally grow every day, and I will develop my strengths. Growth is a result of bad habits dropped, wrong priorities changed, and new ways of thinking embraced. Emotions without thinking is downhill. And emotions with wrong thinking is downhill. And if you put emotions above thinking, it's downhill. self-discipline needs fuel. And the fuel comes through doing what you love and doing what you're good at. There's a relationship between willpower and why power. There's a connection, and the connection is very simple. When you're doing your why, your purpose, you have a will, because it's what you love, it's what you care about. A lack of self-discipline is a lack of knowing what you want in life.
You can feel on the one hand I am doing it, and on the other hand it is happening to me.
It's only going to get harder going forward, and it's all right to scream or cry. How you choose to deal with it is up to you.
I am you. That part of you who is and knows, who knows all things and always knew and always was. Yes, I am you, yourself. That part of you which says I am and is I am. I have been within always, deep within your heart. I have been with you through all, through your joys and heartaches, your successes and mistakes. Aye, whether you went straight ahead or straight aside or stepped backward, it was I who brought you through. And if you can see it, it is I who do all things that you do. For I am life. I am the innermost, the spirit, the animating cause of your being, of all life, of all living things, both visible and invisible. There is nothing dead, for I, the impersonal one, am all that there is. In the heart of the human, in the heart of the animal, in the heart of the flower, in the heart of the stone. In the heart of each I live and move and have my being. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, that is not a part of me, controlled and ruled eternally by me, the one infinite reality. Yes, I know the many mixed thoughts that have been crowded into your mind as you read, the doubts and eager questioning, the vague fear that imperceptibly changed into a growing hope that this glimmering of my meaning, which has begun to penetrate the darkness of your human intellect, may shine brighter so you can see clearly the truth which you instinctively feel is hidden beneath my words. Again I say, this I am speaking herein is the real self of you, and in reading these words it is necessary that you realize it is you, your own self, that is speaking them to your human consciousness, in order fully to comprehend their meaning. This is the same I am, that is the life and spirit animating all living things in the universe, from the tiniest atom to the greatest sun, that this I am is the intelligence in you. I am you, the real self of you, all that you really are. That which you think you are, that is only an illusion, a shadow of the real you, which is I, your immortal divine self. I am that point of consciousness localized in your human mind which calls itself I. I am that I. But that which you call your consciousness is in reality my consciousness, thinned down to suit the capacity of your human mind. Yes, I sit here within, quietly waiting for this. Yet while waiting, it was really I who directed all your ways, who inspired all your thoughts and acts, knowing that will come in time. What happens when your consciousness no longer controls the cells of your body? The body disintegrates, the cells separate, and their work for the time being is finished. But do the cells die or lose consciousness? No. They simply sleep or rest for a period, and after a while unite with other cells and form new combinations, and sooner or later appear in other manifestations of life. The consciousness of all matter, of all substance. If you can see it, you, the real you, the impersonal you, are in all and are one with all, are in me and are one with me, just as I am in you and in all. Just as fast as you awaken a recognition of a certain power or faculty within you, and begin consciously to use it, do I allow you that much more of my infinite power, which I supply to suit your capacity to use it. Were I to entrust you with the full power of my will, before you know how consciously to use it, it would annihilate your body utterly. protest very strenuously that it cannot be, that every instinct of your nature rebels against that yielding, subordinate yourself, however impersonal or divine. Fear not. It is only your personality that thus rebels. After the fall, although you do not know it at the time. You have been told that each cell of your body has a consciousness and an intelligence of its own, that were it not for the consciousness, it could not do the work it so intelligently does. Each cell is surrounded by millions of other cells, each intelligently doing its own work, and each evidently controlled by the united consciousness of all these cells. Do the cells of your body, the muscles of your arm, think to set themselves up as having a separate will from your will, or a separate intelligence from your intelligence? No, they know no intelligence but yours, no will but yours. It is really I who caused your personality thus to rebel. For your personality, with its proud sense of individuality, is still needed by me to develop a mind and body strong enough that they can perfectly express me. Until you have become prepared to know me, it is but natural for your personality to question and rebel. Once you recognize my authority, that moment the undermining of the authority of the personality has begun. The days of its dominion are numbered, and you will more and more turn to me for help and guidance. I am you.
EGO, Earth Guide Only. This is the part of us that says who I am is separate from you, and therefore I'm in competition with, and my value is based upon the value of my possessions and so on. What is mine? It is that individual lower level of awareness. Also, in each and every one of us, there's another person. And this sacred or higher self really doesn't care how much you get. It doesn't care who you're better than. It doesn't care how much stuff you have. It's not interested in any of that. This higher or sacred part of us wants only one thing. It wants us to be at peace. There are many ways to get the things that we want for ourselves in our lives. But basically, it all begins with how we choose to think. You cannot manifest what you want into your life if your attention is on what they want from you, or what they tell you are your limitations or what you can do. You cannot manifest what you want if your attention is on what is. As you think, so shall you be. This old proverb notion that I become what I think about all day long. And once you know that what you think about is what expands, you start getting real careful about what you think about. You don't allow your thoughts to be on anything that you don't want, or that you wouldn't want to have manifest or show up for you in your life. The ancestor to every action is a thought. Each and every one of us, we have this power. We have conditioned ourselves. You have allowed yourself to become that. One of the things that we believe and hang on to and live with is this whole idea that all of the things that happened to me in my past are what are keeping me from doing what I'd like to do today. Many of us bond ourselves to these wounds of our past. If I were to cut my hand, there's a healing stream that I am connected to that will allow that wound to heal. So my nature says, close up the wounds. And oftentimes we ignore our nature.
Impossible. How could I have lost? I was a perfect being, am I not?
A lot of people think that other things make them the way they are. They'll blame somebody for things that are going wrong in their life. Your anger is your choice, and you can always choose to be angry, depressed, upset, or you can choose to be convinced and do something positive in this moment. When you get beyond just knowing yourself as this body and this personality and this thing that you inhabit, and begin to realize that who you are is that which was never born, will never die. And you recognize the eternal self. It's really about recognizing the power, the energy, the capacity. There are higher levels of awareness that are available to us. A level of awareness that allows us to do things like to manage the coincidences of our lives. To be able to place our attention on what it is that we would like to create for ourselves in our lives. To literally have the power to know that if I think about it and I keep it there and I keep that picture firm within me, that there is an energy, a source, a capacity within me that is in the universe and that is also in me, and that I can use this energy, that I can manage it. And what we have to do in order to get to that place where we can take the keys and unlock the self-imposed prisons, or the prisons that we have given ourselves on the basis of what we have come to believe is our limitations, what we can and can't do. We have to let go of that, rewriting our agreement with reality. We literally have to make a whole new contract with what it is that I perceive to be what is possible for me. We have to shift out of the things that we have come to believe in, and everything that you believe in was handed to you by someone else outside of you, by the experiences or testimony of someone in the past. And because it comes from outside of you, there is still an element of doubt that keeps you from reaching higher levels, because what you think about is what expands. And if you're thinking doubt, then doubt is what expands. Now, there's a big difference between what you believe and what you know. I can do all the scientific studies. I can find the command center inside of me. And I can go to the brain and I can point to a specific point. And scientists can do this and say, there's the command center, which allows you to have a thought. But there's no computer and there's no scientists and there's no technology that can ever allow us to go inside and say, there's the commander in the command center. And that commander in the command center, that weightlessness, is the part of us that we just don't pay enough attention to. Once you start becoming aware of the power of thought, and if you look around, just look around you at everything that you see, it all began with a thought. We become what we think about. And that is probably one of the most important principles in learning to manifest. An orange is a simple metaphor. You take this orange and you squeeze it as hard as you can squeeze it. And you ask yourself, what will come out? Never, no matter how many times you squeeze it, will apple juice come out. Why? Why when you squeeze an orange as hard as you can squeeze it, does orange juice come out? The reason that orange juice comes out when you squeeze it is because that's what's inside. Now you extend the metaphor and someone squeezes you. Someone says something about you that you don't like. Someone behaves towards you in a way that you find offensive. Somebody does something or says something to you that you feel hurt by. And out of you comes anger, hatred, bitterness, tension, fear, anxiety, stress. Immediately you say, the reason that comes out of me is because of how he said it, or the way that she said that, or because they did that. But the truth is, the reality is, that what comes out is what's inside. And if you don't like what's inside, you can change it. The quality of your human experience is really much more dependent upon how you use this invisible intelligence and how you connect to this energy. And once you have an awareness that you can never be separate from it, that you and it, and whatever you call it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you call it a divine presence, if you call it soul, if you call it spirit, if you call it consciousness, it doesn't matter. What we have come to believe is our limitations, what we can and can't do. We have to let go of that. What you really want, you will get. The bad news is that what you really don't want, you will also get. And this is one of the most difficult things for people to understand. If your attention is on what is and the circumstances of your life, that's where your thoughts are, then you will continue to create what is into your life. You cannot manifest what you want if your attention is on what always has been. This is the way things are. You'll hear people say it to you all the time. These are the circumstances of life. Don't you understand? This is reality. Wake up. If you keep your attention on what always has been, then what always has been is what you'll continue to manifest. As you think, so shall you be. These aren't empty words. This is reality. And every time your thoughts are on what is, you shift it to what do I want? I've never believed that we need to be putting a responsibility on someone else. Don't tell anybody else about what you want to manifest. Don't make it a big statement. Instead, keep it to yourself. It's the present moment thoughts that I have and how I am using it that is making my life go in this direction, and nothing more.
Others is to be clever. Knowing yourself is to be enlightened. Overcoming others requires force. Overcoming yourself requires strength. It is because you do not strive that no one under heaven can strive for you.
Out of the night that covers me. Blank is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbound. Beyond this place of wrath and fear looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Yield and overcome. Bend and be straight. Empty out and be full. Wear out and be renewed. Clay shaped into a vessel, yet it is the emptiness within that makes it useful. Doors and windows are cut for a room, yet it is the space where there is nothing that makes it useful. Therefore, though advantage comes from what is, usefulness comes from what is not. Better to stop in time than to fill to the brim. Hone a blade to the sharpest point, and it will soon be blunt. Fill your house with gold and jade, and no one can protect it. Be prideful about wealth and position, and you bring disasters upon yourself. Retire when the work is done. Develop the strength of a man, but live as gently as a woman. To know that you have enough is to be rich. Do not look only at yourself, and you will see much. The saying of the old ones, yield and overcome, is not an empty phrase. True wholeness is achieved by blending with life. So it is that the true person does not wish to be great, and therefore becomes truly great. The true person is detached and humble until the world appears confusing. A person of high virtue is not conscious of virtue, and therefore possesses virtue. A person of little virtue tries to be virtuous, and therefore lacks virtue. A truly good person functions without ulterior motive. Therefore, such a person lets go of that without, and is content with this within. The way, conform to the laws. Those who conform to the laws are welcomed into the laws. Those who do not trust enough will not be trusted.
If you deliberately plan to be less than you are capable of being, then I warn you that you will be unhappy for the rest of your life. You will be evading your own capacities, your own possibilities. We all come from poor backgrounds, some of us more recently than others, and the ancient fear of making a decision that could result in disaster still haunts the corridors of our minds. We really don't have time to keep saying no if we expect to succeed. Survival should not be the only option for a human being. Human beings simply require more. Why should we not say yes to a life?
Why do some people do so well in life, while so many more do not? It is our attitude toward life which will determine life's attitude toward us. We shape our own lives, and the shapes of them will be determined by our attitude. There are literally millions of human beings living narrow, darkened, frustrated lives, living defensively, simply because they dig a defensive, doubtful attitude about themselves, and as a result, toward life in general. Attitude is a reflection, a result of a person's will. It is incalculable power. Actions trigger feelings, just as feelings trigger actions. A good attitude can change a person's life as dramatically as walking from a darkened room into the bright, clear light of day. You must first become, mentally, from an attitude standpoint, that which you wish to achieve.
What we do is a matter of choice. We are what we do and how we do what we do. But what we do and how we do what we do are matters of personal choice. We are the only creatures on the planet Earth with a choice as to what we do and how we do it. And saying yes can lead us to excellence. Yes, I will do that to the very best of my ability. If you think you can succeed in a large way and play it safe at the same time, you're sadly mistaken. Success takes risk. It takes full commitment. You go out on the limb, so to speak, and take your chances alone. Sometimes one wonders how many times we must be bludgeoned over the head with liberating truth before we can muster the confidence to stand up on our own hind legs and build great lives for ourselves. Listen to that inner voice. Dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall at last unveil. Dreams are the seedlings of realities. Into your hands will be placed the exact results of your own thoughts. You will receive that which you earn, no more, no less. Stop carrying around a mental picture of yourself as a defeated, worthless person. Stop dramatizing yourself as an object of pity and injustice. For real self-esteem is not derived from the great things you've done, the things you own, or the mark you've made, but an appreciation of yourself for what you are. The exciting story unfolding upon this inner screen is one which is invented every second of your life. Yesterday, tomorrow, but most important, right now. Since you are the dramatist, the director, and the actor, you can change the story as it unfolds. Now, this instant, and for your whole lifetime. You can be the hero and conquer the villain. It's all inside you. It all depends on what you do with an image you carry inside you. An image which is your most important tool for good or for ill. It all depends on you and your self-image. We become what we think about. We become successful to the extent of our true desires and determination. Risk and success are at opposite ends of the same balancing beam. You cannot have one without the other.
interpreted each day as his or her due, but likely find more to criticize than feeling. Yet that's exactly how millions live out their lives. They often give the impression that they have a contract with forever, but it's really for only a handful of years.
The flight wore you out. The trip wore you out. The running wore you out. The wrestling wore you out. Some of us don't have enough tools in our toolbox to step into our destiny. All we have is what we've always had to use. And so we fight anything that gets in front of us. We had to fight in the womb. We had to fight in the house. Fighting is our love language. If the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem you see looks like a nail. I want to settle this once and for all. It is worth whatever the struggle was to find out who you are and what you got and what you can do and what you can be.
destruction in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Attracts creatures of darkness. Your body, every last drop of blood has been given as an offering to those of darkness.
If you believe this man to be a true friend, and if you regard him as a brother, then know this. When this man's ambition crumbles, is when you will face your death. A death you can never escape!
That is the destiny of those who receive the wrath of sacrifice.
What is this? Memories overflow. This is war. It's no different from any other war. Nothing's changed. Nothing I can't handle. Nothing.
He would come to the gym and say he didn't get a ride to the gym. He didn't have no car. He would run across the causeway.
Muhammad Ali, one of my great heroes, had a great line in the 70s when he was asked, how many sit-ups do you do? He said, I don't count my sit-ups. I only start counting when it starts hurting, when I feel pain. That's when I start counting because that's when it really counts. That's what makes you a champion.
Jerry, I'm the greatest fighter that ever stepped foot in the ring. Money would be lost that night. This will be the biggest upset in the century of all boxing.
I think you're a big bag of wind. Damnedest showman that ever lived, and you ain't kidding anybody.
The odds are set. Very big odds for a heavyweight championship fight.
It has to be listen to the much bigger championship.
Where all these big mouth people talking about I talk too much, well, I want all of them to be there, and I'm going to shut up all of them mouth.
My name no more. You want to keep calling me a white man's name? I'm not white.
He beat the hell out of those who didn't want to use his name.
Mr. Muhammad Ali has just refused to be inducted into the United States Armed Forces.
I'm just about broke. I'm not allowed to work here now in America.
I'm going to fight, not for me, but to uplift my little brothers who are sleeping in concrete floors today in America.
They want to be famous. Damn people. It's a wonderful group.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. George can't hit what his eyes can't see. All you chumps are gonna bow when I whip him. All of you, I know you got him. I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Bluffed him, I'd done everything. Beat him up, basically for about 5 or 6 rounds. I thought it was easy. Then about the 6th round, he whispered in my ear after I hit him in the side. That all you got, George?
I never talk about who's gonna stop me. Well, ain't nobody gonna stop me. I must be the greatest. I took up the world. I took up the world. I told you, all of my critics, that I was the greatest of all time.
He who's not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life.